From the ECSI Sports Studios and the #1 sports investors in America, we bring you the closing bell. As the market closes, legends Jeff Dawson and Riley Magnuson bring you all the sports investing tips for tonight's matchups. If you want to learn more from the two legends at the desk, make sure you stay tuned to the closing bell. ECSI fans, do you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all of your sports books and track all of your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You can also sign up for sportsbooks and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as they're the best account on the platform. Head to the App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire to download the app. Hey sports fans, are you ready for an exhilarating gaming experience? Introducing VIPClub.lv, your ultimate online sportsbook and casino. VIPClub.lv offers a vast selection of sports, from football and basketball to tennis and baseball. Bet on your favorite teams and enjoy the thrill of the game. But that's not all. Our state-of-the-art online casino offers a dazzling array of games, including slots, blackjack, roulette, and live dealer tables. Win big with their fantastic promotions, rewards, and exclusive offers. Join VIPClub.lv today and get a generous 100% match welcome bonus to start your winning streak. Make sure to use code ECSI at sign-up. Bet it, win it, and cash it at VIPClub.lv. Visit VIPClub.lv now and play responsibly. VIPClub.lv, your sportsbook and casino extravaganza. Must be 21 or older to play. Please gamble responsibly. Visit gambleware.org for help.
Good evening, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the co-host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is the closing bell for Thursday, January 25th, 2024. The weekend is almost here, guys. Almost. Big slate. It looks a lot bigger than it actually is, as the NHL is rounding down to the All-Star break, as we talked about with Andrew McGinnis earlier. NBA has a handful of games, as we talked about with Julian Edlow from DraftKings this morning. But tonight, myself and Riley look to break down the card, try to find a few diamonds in the gems. Last time me and Riley talked, breaking news, Giannis was out. There was a handful of you that ran to your sports books and got the +4, 4.5 with the Cavaliers, who won by 30 that night before your books caught it. So it does pay to listen. Shout out to the gentleman behind the glass, Joseph Shea, Evan Lewis. Shout out to our proud new sponsor and partnership, WagerWire. If you haven't downloaded the app, please do. Jump on over to Google Play or wherever you download the apps. It's free. Come on, get acclimated. Get into 2024. It's not 2014. It's not 2004. Start making these wagers mean something. It's not entertainment, guys. If it's entertainment, don't watch us, because we'll crack a joke once in a while, but we're here to cash some tickets, and we try to give you effective reasonings, like me reading the market all day and night. I never sleep. It is what it is. And Riley. So please do that. And of course, the VIPclub.lv. At checkout, use the promo code ECSI. Tell them JD from ECSI sent you, and the rest is history. So without further ado, let's bring in the one and only Mr. SouthSide Riley himself. Afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, my friend. Happy Thursday afternoon, Thirsty Thursday, as you like to coin, my friend. So, ready to rock and roll. Not the most star-studded Thursday slate that we've ever had, but as you said, we're here to find the diamonds in the rough. There are some decent games in certain areas, just obviously not. We've seen at least a loaded college basketball slate with 5, must-watch college basketball slate these days. I don't know if that's the case tonight, but sometimes those are the days where you can find some of the best values. So I'm sure there's some good games to talk about. But nonetheless, obviously got some other stuff going on this weekend. So we can take this wherever you would like, my friend.
Yeah, usually Thursdays I love because it doesn't matter what I've done all day, all early evening. I always can decompress around 10:30 when I'm watching the morning numbers for tomorrow. And I got my Pac-12. I get some great action in the Pac-12. I love watching the Pac-12. I usually can find a few diamonds in the rough there. Not so much even tonight. So the slate is tough. Before we dive in, I do want to bring up Bill Belichick for a minute. Shefty reported yesterday that he was not the favorite now in Atlanta, and as these coaching jobs now slowly get gobbled up, Harbaugh heading over to the Chargers, which we all speculated for months. Sounds like Ben Johnson will be heading. They already got him lined up. Vrabel was in Carolina.
I got breaking news for you. Sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Falcons hiring Raheem Morris as their head coach as we speak right now.
Well, I that's where I was going to start because on SportsMap Radio Monday night, me and Anthony, we had two people on Atlanta radio on our show, and the second guest, and the name's drawing my blank, shame on me. I asked if there was someone hiding in the cracks, and that's exactly who he said. I says, if Bill is not it, who is it? And he nailed it. So I got to send him a text and a shout out there. But what the rumor mill is, and this sounds as crazy as it is, I mean, the Bills, if they pulled the plug on McDermott, but here's the crazy of all crazies. And I wondered if what your thoughts are here. There are words out in social media that Andy Reid could be retiring, let's say, if they win the Super Bowl this year. And the comparison was Phil Jackson. Well, he couldn't win without LeBron. I'm sorry, Phil Jackson couldn't win without Michael and Pippen. So what did he do? He went to LA and he won with Shaq and Kobe. What people are saying now is, well, Bill can't win without a quarterback. He can't win with Brady. He's got 6 rings. Well, if he ever attached his ass to Mahomes and won 4 more championships and says, look at my ring is, my fingers now. What are your thoughts? Have you heard anything on social media or anything in Chicago on something as crazy as this?
I've heard the rumblings. I'm not buying into it too much. I mean, if Andy Reid wants to go out and sail off into the sunset, then obviously he's earned that right, whether they win or not. I personally, unless he's got health issues, unless there's other factors drawing him away from it, could see him sticking around with old Patrick Mahomes for quite a while. But no, I don't know. I haven't heard too much of that. And obviously the stove is kind of cooled on Bill to Washington, like it was pretty steaming hot all season long as far as that really being the destination for him. Maybe it still is a possibility now that Atlanta's not an option. I don't know, but I will. I'm not going to hold my breath on Andy Reid. I think he sticks around, but I mean, obviously he's getting up there in age. He could decide that he's accomplished more than enough, but. If he thinks he's got 5 years left, you have to imagine there's a good chance that he wins. Even if he doesn't win this year, that he's got at least one more ring in him. Under his belt if he sticks around for even 3 to 5 more years. So, to answer the question, I have heard it, but I'll call. I don't want to say total BS on it, but I'll call. I'm not buying it, is what I'm trying to say here.
I mean, the great story would have been Dallas fires McCarthy, Bill comes in, and that would have been must-watch TV. The jobs are far and few now. The Panthers, didn't they hire the Bucks OC? Am I correct?
Correct. I am drawing a blank on what his name is off the top of my head, but you're right.
All right. So correct me if I'm wrong. There's only 2. The Raiders are covered with Pierce. So there's only one job left right now. Washington, correct?
Seattle.
Seattle. That's Dan Quinn's.
Yeah, right.
Seattle will be
but
Dan Quinn.
Officially still Seattle. Yeah, but yeah.
Yes. And I'm here on Washington, signed, sealed, and delivered for Ben Johnson from Detroit. So unless Buffalo pulls the plug, unless Bill has been slowing the process down, asking for the world, knowing he's not going to get it, waiting to see if Andy bows out, Bill could be outside looking in. And at his age, if he misses a year, I can't see anyone running to the window to come bring him back after a year off in Nantucket.
Right, and obviously, I mean, he's as respected as they come, but obviously the last couple of years haven't gone well. So you need, I mean, other coaches have taken a year off and come back, but I'm with you. I would imagine that if he's, I think it depends how badly he wants to coach, because I'm sure there's some situations that would have taken him, but maybe he didn't want to go, and knowing what happened to Mike Vrabel in Tennessee, maybe Tennessee had no interest, but you know what I'm saying. Maybe if Tennessee was calling, he might have said, I don't really agree with where the heck you're going right now. So if he was desperate, I'm sure there's a team that, if they're, organizationally aren't having a lot of success right now would, fire the trigger on him. But obviously Bill's smart enough to know that he needs a good situation. So I don't think you're crazy to think that he could be, that he's looking like he's, taking a year off here. Maybe he goes and follows his passion to the old lacrosse field. I don't know. Obviously, he's showed a side passion for that there. But it really wouldn't shock me if he went and hung around a lacrosse program. I'm being totally honest there. But, I mean, if he wants some type of role in a football organization, whether, whatever level, obviously, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of doors that are open. But, if it's head coach or bust, then, it obviously is looking pretty bleak right now.
Yeah, there is. The Boston did get a professional soccer lacrosse team in the Premier Lacrosse that we do weekly with Dan Alexander. So I'll be interested. Maybe he'll be hanging out at the Garden at the Premier Lacrosse team. How's that?
Hey, you know what? I think he'll try and find his way to football, but the man has made it clear he likes lacrosse. So he's probably going to hang around somewhere.
All right, before we dive into the NBA and college, again, not the greatest of bores. Everyone watching and listening, grab your pen and papers. I'm going to quickly go through the NHL, try to find some diamonds in the rough in the team total market. Again, last week before the All-Star break, the under-overs have been shrinking. So try to get cute. Last night, ECSI VIPs go 2-1, box to wire on 2 college hoop games. And our NHL game, we got snookered. We had under 2.5 on the Carolina Hurricanes. Scored 2 goals in the first 2 periods on power plays and 13 shots. Third period, Bruins tie it 2-2, looking like we're heading to overtime. And then a bonehead move by the Bruins created a breakaway. 3-2 Hurricanes. Thanks for playing. 2-1, I'll take it every night, but the difference between 2-1 and 3-0 is huge as we grade them. But let's see what the NHL market has. If you like the Bruins tonight, okay, let me actually switch screens for 1 second, guys. The Bruins are currently minus 135. So if you like the Bruins with an under over a 6.5, you can get their team total over 3.5 plus 108. So Bruins to get to 4 or better, doesn't matter who wins, and you can get that at plus 108. If you like the Islanders tonight, traveling to Montreal, the return of Patrick Roy, as me and Andrew were talking about, they face the Habs tonight. The Islanders currently at circa minus 145 with a 6.5. You can get the Islanders to get to 4, so over 3.5 plus 111. So again, instead of laying the minus 145, you can get them at plus 111 to get to 4 or better. It doesn't matter who wins that game. On a favorite side, Arizona and Tampa. Right now, Tampa was favored by minus 195, as high as 225. If you like them to get to 4 or better, minus 20 cents. Over 3.5, minus 20 cents there. I'm going to stay away from Philly, Detroit. If you like Carolina tonight on bounce back, back-to-backs, they face New Jersey right now. Carolina right now is minus 156. You can get Carolina to get to 4 or better, minus 103. Carolina to get to 4 or better, minus 103. Here is one of the big cherries on top. I usually say pizza and beer on this one. Minnesota's facing Nashville. On our show with Andrew McGinnis with Wager Talk, he gave out Minnesota money line, minus 114 against Nashville. They're getting healthy. They're starting to play a lot better. My cherry on top, Minnesota to get to 4 today, 4 or better. You can get that at plus 147. So that's one of the bonanzas of the day. Calgary and Columbus. Calgary right now minus 190. Under over 6.5. You can get them to get to 4 or better, minus 21 cents. And the comedy relief of the night, listen, Edmonton, who's won a bazillion in a row, is minus 620. So people are going to play money line parlays with Edmonton tonight. They're going to play them in the first period minus the hook. They're going to play them in regulation. They're going to play them minus a goal and a half. If you want to have some fun and scratch an itch at 907, Edmonton team total over 4.5. So they need 5, 6, 7, or 8 to win. They just need 5. Minus 102. So they're favored minus 620. People that don't understand this, if you want to win $100 on Edmonton to win the game today, you got to go to the window with $620 in your pocket. So have some fun with the game. They got to get to 5, and it's only minus 102. That's the hockey report, Andrew.
You called me Andrew, but that's all right.
Oh, my God.
You're talking hockey,
Riley.
so that's okay. But you are talking Blackhawks, which I did see, and it obviously is an ugly look for the old Blackhawks, but obviously no Connor Bedard. Yeah, tied for the dead last spot in the league there. But credit to them, they're still packing the house. They're still selling tickets for $100 a pop for the nosebleeds half the time. So somebody's doing something right over there. But anyways, NBA, my friend, sticking with Chicago. Actually, this one was one of the later games. The Bulls are in LA to play the Lakers here. Lakers 5-point favorites. I've been pretty decent this last week and a half, couple of weeks on some of these Bulls numbers since they've been starting to play better on what's today, Thursday. So whatever it was, Monday or Tuesday, I don't remember which night it was. I think it was Monday. In Phoenix, 5-point dogs. I said I like that as a Bulls spot there. They were up by about 19, 20 points in that game. Blow the lead completely, still cover. And on top of that, playing better, winning a decent amount of games before that. So to see that another 5-dog spot after they just covered in Phoenix with a nice little bit of rest in LA against a lesser Lakers team as compared to that Suns team. Not screaming Bulls number to me. Would have respected 3.5 or less if I was really interested in the Bulls. You and I did talk. This is obviously one where you got to look at the injury report, though. Anthony Davis, LeBron, questionable. Number kind of screams to me that if both of those two guys are out, obviously this number is going to move, and the Bulls might even be favored if both of those guys are out. Even if one of them are out, even this number doesn't really scream to me that either of them are going to be out. Obviously, it's possible. I'm never going to try and speculate. Yesterday, I talked about the Mavericks game, and it looked like Luka was questionable, and I said, all right, well, and I broke down the whole if injury is situation, this and that. Luka was in, and then unbeknownst to me, an hour or two before game time, Kyrie is out. So I didn't mention him at all because he wasn't on the report. But the point is, you never know what you're going to get with injury news. But this does not scream Bulls number to me is the biggest point that I'm trying to make, at least right now with this current, as long as LeBron and AD are in the game there. And obviously, if one or both of them are out and this one still is Lakers 4.5, 5, then you got something fishy going on here. But not too confident in the Bulls tonight. I think they can come down to earth a little bit there tonight. The other one that looked even more fishy for the most part here, Minnesota is in Brooklyn tonight. Minnesota did play last night. Brooklyn, one-day rest. They have not been playing as well. They are starting to come way back down to earth after a nice, 500 or so first couple of months of the season. 3.5, 4-point favorite spot for the Wolves on the road here. 31-13 Wolves against the 17-26 Nets. I saw 85+% of bets and money on the Wolves on the book that I was looking at here. So this one at least looked fishy to me, my friend here. The Wolves as maybe a little too good to be true here tonight in Brooklyn. You had the Anthony Edwards 60-point game the other night. Coach was not pleased with their effort and their motives in the second half of that game. Obviously, lose to Charlotte in that one. They did bounce back last night against Washington on the road in Washington. I think I was on the right side there, kind of leaned towards Minnesota there. But nonetheless, this one obviously seems a little fishy to me in Brooklyn here for the Wolves.
Yeah, I looked at an overnight number of 3 with a 217.5. Right now, flat 217 with a 3 and a hook. It's one of these, again, if you're on the Wolves, it's, the old Brooklyn Nets with KD and Kyrie. They come out and they beat you by 30, and vice versa. You go with this the smelly trap line, and Anthony Edwards says, Embiid, you did 70, I'll get 71 tonight. So again, be smart here. It does smell 217 and a half. Let me see here. They're saying here 110, 106. That's what they're saying. Slight move to the over on the Brooklyn team total. I mean, it opened at 111, 107 and a half. I'll get cute here. Minnesota team total under 110 and a half. That's where I'll go.
I like it. That number. I mean, both these teams live quite a bit higher than that number, so that one kind of also a little fishy to the total as well. So I'm with you on that one. I'm not saying I'm jumping in and diving with the Nets here, but certainly a buyer beware of the Wolves tonight is what I would say if you're interested in the NL. That whatever they are, 2-3 seed in the West. Wolves on the road here, definitely putting a question mark in a beware spot there. What about Boston? Boston is in Miami tonight. 8-point favorites on the road against Miami. 24-20 Heat. 34-10 Boston. Obviously, Boston still rolling along. Got a couple wins since that loss last week. Miami 4 losses in a row here. We kind of typically see this number in Boston, the 8-point spread spot here. Is this we see some big spreads with the Celtics, so sometimes this is usually a team that I've got to look at a few different times here to really feel. You feel like this is a statement here in Miami? Typically, we don't have these type of numbers in Miami. We have an 7-8 spot when we're in Boston with these two teams. Now you're in Miami and you got Boston as 8-point favorites.
Yeah, love questionable, but I mean, Jaquez and Smith are out indefinitely. So, yeah, I think it's a statement. Here's a funny is my overnight number was 5 with the 223. Now 8 with the 224. Terry Rozier now got his sea legs under him. He is now with the Heat. Definitely a statement. Great eyes. That is a number usually when they're playing at the Garden. Team totals right now, 116 for the Celtics, 108 and a half juiced under for Miami. I'll get cute here. I'll say Miami team total over the 108 and a hook plus 6 cents. That's where I'll go with this game.
Yep. No, I can work with it. I mean, it is a TNT game, so that's obviously we always typically note that it is a one of the TNT games tonight. So obviously going to have a few more eyes on it than a lot of these games tonight. So something to make note of there. But let's see these other two games. 2-point favorite spots for the road team here: Denver and New York, Sacramento and Golden State. These ones are interesting because in the Denver New York case, Knicks are playing well. I've been playing really well at home. They're still a dog to obviously defending champs, and you've got a Warriors team as home dogs to an above 500 Sacramento team. Any thought that you can look at those two together? Maybe one favorite wins, one doesn't, or no reason to look at them in connection to each other at all?
The Sacramento Golden State, I mean, back in the day, they were autoplay at home and just fade them on the road. And Sacramento, again, last year's darlings and this year's whatever you want to call them, I do not have a good read on either one of those two teams. That is an absolute, coin flip popcorn game for me. I think the Denver New York game is definitely catching my eyes. I had the Knicks overnight 1-point favorites with a 223. Now Denver 2.5-point favorites with a 222 and a hook. Let me see if I got any injuries here for the Knicks. I just had it here. Mitchell Robinson out indefinitely. We knew that. Hartenstein questionable. Denver, Reggie Jackson probable. I'll take the swing here. I will buy the hook and take the Knicks plus the 3, and I'll put some pizza and beer money on the Knicks money line. The Mecca will be jumping. I know Denver came in and beat Boston on Friday. Been hanging out back east. Maybe Joker had a bad slice of pizza during this afternoon or something down in NYC. I'm gonna take the home team tonight.
I don't mind it. This one was a tough one for me. I mean, we've talked about Denver as, sometime lately they've obviously been feeling it. This Knicks team is good at home. Those short dog spots for them at home against some of these, high-powered teams are obviously interesting and tough to crack. But no, I can get behind it for sure there. The other one, last one, and then we can move on. Philly is in Indiana against the Pacers here. A couple spots moving this one down to 5, a flat 5 it looks like here. You've got Sixers on a 6-game win streak here in Indy, 24-20 Indy. With a 6-game win streak, when you factor that in, this one felt not eye-poppingly short necessarily, but especially shading down to 5 with the team that has won 6 in a row. Indy's lost 3 in a row to some good teams here. Got back home a couple nights ago and failed to win. Actually, I think they pushed the number against the Nuggets. 5-point dog at home against the Nuggets. Lose by 5 there. Any love that Indy bounces back a little bit here and at least covers this number, or is Philly going to keep rolling it here?
Well, again, I talked about Rozier and the sea legs. Same with Sackham. The funny here is I had a 4 with a 235. The total has now gone to 240 with Philly 5.5. You think Indiana, you think of scoring. The whole world's on that over. It smells like an under to me. First of all, the true number was 235, adjusted number 240. Keep an eye on that under. As for the game and the side itself, big statement. Again, on the Philly side, I think Philly gets it done. Do I trust the 5 or 5.5? No, I don't. The team totals right now, Philly 222.5, juiced under -112, and Indiana 117.5, -110 on both sides. Again, I like the under in this game the most. I think Philly wins. I don't trust the 5 though.
Okay. No, I'll go on record and lean towards the Pacers cover. Like you said, I could see the Sixers winning, but I'll go towards the Pacers cover. But a lot can happen in these Pacers games. We've seen them, maybe they go somewhere around their team total, and the other side goes way under. Who knows? So that is it. That is all I had for NBA tonight, my friend. Let's scoot on over to college basketball. Already a couple of low major games going on right now. I'm sure you and I weren't holding our breath to talk about those 2 games necessarily, but a few games on the board tonight. I know there was a late Pac-12 game. The other one that is at least worth watching and talking about if you're dying to watch some college basketball, I'm trying to find it. It was San Francisco and Gonzaga is a potentially good game there. Gonzaga, the home team in this one. 9-point favorites. San Francisco 15-5, Gonzaga 13-5, 8.5, 9 is the number. These 2 teams have not played yet this year. San Francisco had one. I think they covered once last year. They've had some good teams in the past. I feel like I want to say this is one team that you've liked in the past, or am I putting words in your mouth? Different team in your mouth?
Nope.
Yeah, San Francisco.
Nope, spot on.
Yep. So, I don't know. Any love? This Gonzaga team has been weird. I've had a couple correct spots with them, but they've had a couple spots where they last couple flexed their muscles, and I think last time out won by 40. Any thoughts that maybe this one is closer than this number is giving them credit for here against San Francisco here?
Julian came on today as we were wrapping up. He liked the Dons of San Francisco. No Bill Russell tonight. They were opened at 10, down to 9. Here's what I like to say. I'm a big Dons fan. They've made us a lot of money in the 9 years here at ECSI. But as I say, trust and respect the opening number. That was 10 for a reason. It only can go one way, and that's what it has. It's gone down to 9. This is not the same Zags team of a handful of years ago. They're good. They'll make the tournament. They should get through the first weekend, and after that, who the hell knows there. I almost want to sit back and wait for the rematch here. The line smells to me. It smells too much. They're begging for San Fran money. Repeat their records again, Riley.
San Fran's 15-5, Gonzaga is 13-5, and they are both 4-1 within their conference.
And the Zags are a 10-point, now 9-point favorite for a reason. So I've had great success in the last couple of weeks smelling these out. We had 2 teams, 13-point favorites. We took the 13-point favorite. They win by 22. We had another one the other day, 2 14-4 teams. 11-point favorites. They won by 20. We got snookered with you and I on Monday. Same scenario there. But if I had to play the game tonight, I said shop around, buy a hook, I'd take the Zags minus the 8.5, and I'd look for San Fran in the revenge spot.
I like it. I mean, the other aspect, I mean, for the average person, San Francisco's not a nobody anymore after the last few years for the average, at least for college basketball fans. So it's not like a nobody that's doing this and sneaking up on them. They've earned a name for themselves that it's not as much of or it's becoming kind of a public dog to some degree there. So a couple of Pac-12 games, like you said, a lot of mid-major games. Anything else? I mean, these 2 Pac-12 games, Arizona State, Oregon 9.5 at home. Oregon State 18-point dogs at home against Arizona. Anything to make out of these games in the Pac-12 here tonight?
The Arizona State Oregon game, the true number is 7.5 with a 147.5. I think Vegas got what they wanted. Right now, it is 9.5 and a 10 at most shops. They needed some duck money. They got it. Bobby Hurley's squad, Jekyll and Hyde. If you bet on them, they'll lose by 40. If you bet against them, they'll win outright by 20. But I think they got their duck money. Ducks win. I think Arizona State will find a way to cover there. And in the other Pac-12 game, again, it's up to 18. Trending to 18.5. Let me scroll down here. I had a 17 with a under over a 151. Right now it's circa 17.5. The rest of the Vegas strip, it's at 18.5 right now at DraftKings. Arizona wins. They call their shot. Way too many points for me there. Before we ship off here, I'm going to talk about 2 bad games that just, we've been smelling the stench games, and we've been doing real good with it. Last night, I want to tell the viewers and audience, I had Alabama on the desk. I thought Alabama would beat Auburn. Auburn is a great team. If you haven't bought any stock at them for Final Four or potential cut in the nets, just get some pizza and beer on them. Bruce Pearl, great coach. They're a great, great team. They can play both ends. They can beat you 61-60. They can beat you 89-88. So Alabama got them here. Watch out for Auburn on at the Jungle on the rematch there. What I'm talking about is ECSI VIP's got Washington State last night against Utah. They won by 20. And the stench of all stench last night that we gave out to our clients and our family, it was kind of comical. I'm trying to pull out how I did it. Samford and Furman, okay? 2 teams that no one's betting on for the most part. Samford, winners of 17 in a row. 17 in a row. 17-2. Come into Furman, 10-9. Furman was 2.5-point favorites and closed minus 160 on the money line. And Furman beats them. Okay, so again, the eyes are not wrong. The eyes are razor sharp here. I got 2 games. I'm not saying they're going to win by 20. Just keep an eye on these 2 games. Let me find where my eyes are. UNC Wilmington at Northeastern. Overnight, UNC Wilmington 2-point favorite. It's at 2.5 across the board. It's like apples and oranges when you look at these records. Keep an eye on Northeastern there. And Drexel and Townsend, again, Drexel is the one that the whole world's on. 1.5-point favorites overnight. And now Townsend, 1.5-point favorites. Again, if you're going to play that game, I strongly suggest playing the money line. Again, both these teams you could play and wake up the next morning and they lose by 40. I'm just saying bad lines, stench plays of the day. No one's on either one of these games, but just how we read the market, keep an eye on both home teams, Townsend and Northeastern.
I can get behind it. It's about time where you get some goofiness in these mid-major games here. So it is definitely something to look at. I can attest to that for sure. Not a ton of other games that I was interested in tonight. Obviously, um, there's just some goofy games. Obviously, it's a good night if you want to collect some data on some of these potential bracket busters here tonight. But other than that, not the best cup of tea. Big Ten last night, some good action. Um, Illinois Northwestern goes to overtime. One of the best Big Ten games of the season. Illinois kind of just runs out of gas, gets a little, wheels fall off in overtime there. Northwestern takes care of business. That is going to be a good finish now. Illinois, game 2 with Terrence Shannon back. They looked good. And Northwestern's just been great at home, aside from one ugly non-conference showing there. So Northwestern, I obviously Northwestern's got to win a few more games, but that kind of stamped the seal on them making the tournament here again as probably unless collapse comes, as a top 7, 8, maybe even better seed in the tournament here this year.
I agree. And the Big East, again, the same thing. Providence goes into Seton Hall and takes care of business. We had our eyes on them. So the Big East, it's tough to win on the road. So whenever you get one of those wins, put your chest out, hats off to Providence. And then the same as, it's going on in the Big Ten. Wisconsin and Purdue have kind of flexed their muscles, but we know Izzo's Army's knocking on the door, and there's a handful of those other teams that will be waiting there. I want to close with this. Monday night, we were live from the Garden, and we had Drew Disnick, and I screwing up his last name. I apologize. At the Whale Capper. It works for NBC Bets as well. And Pep's talking to him, asking him a few questions. And then I started asking him some questions, and we're talking Australian Open. And he really talked about a potential upset tonight. It's on at 10:30 tonight, Australian Open. Djokovic versus Sinner. Joker was minus 220, now down to about minus 200. You can get Sinner at plus 180, 185. Really likes his chances. The thing that scares me is Carlos Alcaraz got knocked out. And I know we were all setting up for a Joker Alcaraz final. He is not there. So kind of opens the doors for Joker. And potentially, I'm assuming Medvedev's still there. But just keep your eyes on Sinner, another late night play, plus 180, 185. Take a look. Maybe you could play some set plays or whatever it is. So that was that. So closing thoughts, sir.
Closing thoughts, I will do mine. It sounds like we'll be doing a show talking a lot of college hoops Saturday morning, tomorrow night. Speaking of the Big Ten and all those teams you named, Michigan State, Wisconsin is the one of the marquee games of Friday night college basketball slate. I'm seeing Wisconsin minus 3.5 at home. Just open things up the way they've been playing. That is a kind of not a ton of respect to them at home. So that could be a potential Friday night upset special there with not a Michigan State starting to come around, but haven't had that statement win yet, really. So, I think I saw even bracketology. They were somewhere around like an 8 or 9 seed even now, maybe even better than that. With the pedigree that they have, but you win this game, you're in real good shape. If you lose this game, still got a lot of work to do to make sure they get themselves in there. Michigan State, I'm talking about there, so could potentially open the door for some awesome finishes in the Big Ten regular season. I assume Wisconsin's going to drop a game and it's going to be a great finish anyways, but be on the lookout tomorrow night. Maybe a little Michigan State. I've been trying to talk myself out of going tomorrow night. I got to save my money for some future wedding planning, but I've had the itch. It's very doable for me to get up to Madison tomorrow night, so I'm trying to stop the itch and get up there tomorrow night.
We had Minnesota, who's been our kryptonite, plus the 4 on Monday against Whiskey. So we got a big second half, down 10 at half, and made a nice run and could have won the game and lost, but covered there. Our locals, 1 versus 2 on the weekend, a home and home series, BC, BU, Hockey East. Tickets going for $400 a pop on the open market. It's just crazy. I think they play at Conti Forum in BC on Friday and then back at BU on Saturday. So any Hockey East or college hockey fans must watch TV Friday and Saturday night with BUBC back to back there. Other than that, tomorrow, 3:00, I will be on Andrew's channel at at McGinnis Picks at Wager Talk. We're going to break down some NFL and some hockey for Saturday. And then at 5:00, I think our last show of the season, the closing bell with Ron Marmolewski. We'll be talking the Final Four in the NFL. And then on Saturday morning, probably around 11 Eastern, give or take, 10:00 Riley's time, we'll be breaking down the Big Ten action. We'll pull up and highlight some of the big games in college. We'll talk some NHL, and we'll get everyone set for the weekend. So thank everyone watching and listening. If you haven't already, jump on over to YouTube, East Coast Sports Investors. If you could subscribe, it's free. It'd be huge for us. We got some big stuff brewing here in the year of 2024. We're so glad that you're all a part of it, and the future couldn't be brighter here. So for myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only Riley Magnuson, SouthSide Riley himself at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed day, a better evening. Behave yourself. The weekend's almost here, and we'll see you